Shalom, Yasha Allah. First and foremost, we give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. The honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this great gospel in sincerity and truth. This is your brother Tazakai from Great Millstone, Indianapolis, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Got an article here that's pretty much, what to say, well, you can see it at the top, but pretty much it's a government, document, from the FDA. And it reads, the FDA approves implantable chip to access medical records. It reads, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved VeriChip, an implantable radio frequency identification device for patients, which will enable doctors to access their medical records. Doctors hope that the use of the device will result in be better treatment for patients in emergencies or when a patient is unconscious or lacks medical records. Some people have raised fears, however, that it could lead to infringements on the patient's privacy, which that's the whole thing, it's gonna, with these microchips, it takes away from your privacy, It says, the chip is the size of a grain of rice and is implanted under local anesthesia beneath the patient's skin in the tricep area of the right arm, where it is invisible to the naked eye. It contains a unique 16-digit identification number. A handheld scanner passed near the injection site activates the chip and displays the number on the scanner. And I guarantee you within that barcode that's in that 16-digit number is, 666. So right here, it do say in the tricep, but I understand if you receive this chip in your right hand or your forehead or wherever the case may be, in your arm somewhere, wherever the case may be, it's the mark of the beast. You will be destroyed for it. And it reads, doctors and other medical staff use the identification number to access the patient's records on a secure database via encrypted internet access. And that's going into that digital identity, the ID 2020. They want to put everything of your livelihood to be attached to a digital device that's inside of your body, which will be this mark of the beast, the RFID chip. It says, a similar chip has been used for about 15 years to trace lost pets and to identify livestock. So, of course, they have to do their trial runs. They have to see if these chips will be able to work in living organisms, like animals, but ultimately they want to do it to the people. It says more than 30 million home again chips have been implanted in pets, and 1 million are implanted each year in the United States. The chips manufacturer, Applied Digital Systems of Delray Beach, Florida, will donate 200 scanners to major trauma centers in the United States. The company sees its main markets as physician practices, emergency rooms at hospitals, and extended care facilities. Each scanner costs about $650. But the cost will decrease with volume, said Angela Fulcher, the company's vice president for marketing. She said that implanting the chip in an individual costs $150 to $200. We foresee that scanning a patient for a VeriChip, as it is a very simple procedure, will be part of the standard patient entry protocol. So this is, ultimately they want to make this a standard, for everyday livelihood, not just subject to the medical, like the medical field. It says, in the emergency room, such as taking temperature, checking blood pressure, etc., Ms. Fulcher told the BMJ. The VeriChip database can include medical records, information about implanted medical devices, personal information, family contact information, and insurance information. The patient and his or her doctors will enter data in the database. Dr. Richard Seelig, the company's vice president for medical applications, says that the chip will be useful in patients who receive care from several doctors in different locations, who have complex medical histories, and who take many medications. The chip has potential applications for protecting security, such as limiting access to nuclear power plants, for identifying military personnel, including their medical information, and for protecting financial transactions, such as using cash expenses machines. So they're going to convenience the people with these chips. Like, man, you get this chip, you ain't got to worry about the loss of this, the loss of that. It'll all be, subjected to that chip that's inside your body. You see, you can't lose something that they implant in you. That's what they're going to build upon. It says about 1,000 people worldwide have been implanted with the chip. The Attorney General of Mexico and some of his staff used the technology to access secure facilities in Mexico City. The company says because the chip can be activated only at close range and because it becomes inactive immediately afterward, it can be used for long distance readings of information or tracking individuals. And this is why they make that case. But this is why now they got these 5G towers, and you hear China got 6G towers. So this is why they're putting up these towers. One of the main reasons to what, to have a wider broadband, with pretty much coincide with these chips, so they'll be able to, the signal won't fade away, so to speak. It says Mark Rottenberg, executive director of the Electronic Privacy Information Center in Washington, D.C., told the BMJ that use of an implantable chip was like branding cattle. Yes, so that's what that's what the scriptures say. Matter of fact, we gonna get that. It says he thought it was a mistake for the FDA to have approved the chip because of privacy issues. Now, two things I want to point out. This article came out in 2004. That was the main reason why I brought this article out, because it says what, the FDA, the Food Drug Administration, have approved implantable chips. Now it says to access medical records, but we ultimately know here in this truth that it's going to be on a broader scale than medical records. It's going to be your everyday livelihood. You see how I said what, only 1,000 people or so was already chipped. Now let's fast forward to 2020. This whole countries like Sweden, all those people, majority of those people have been microchipped. There's other peoples, like I said, the 3 Square Market, people here in America, a lot more people than just 1,000 have been microchipped. But a lot of people don't understand that this was already passed by the FDA. So even if you may see this as, oh, this is how, like I said, like of course, like a righteous decree or anything like that. Of course, it's unrighteous to implement something like this, to pretty much control and track the people and invade their everyday lives, their privacies. But at the same time, it's a part of prophecy. So I just wanted to point out that this was an article from 2004. Now we fast forward in this day and age, and we see that the chip is, hey, they're not hiding no more. They just putting it out there, and ultimately we understand, like, hey, what's it leading to? Revelation chapter 13 verse 16, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So so anybody, no matter what your status is in the world, pretty much Esau, Edom, they're gonna cause all or majority of the people, because we understand there's gonna be martyrs, and we understand there's gonna be heathens, even some 2/3 who disregard taking it as well. But of course, if they're not covered by the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, which the heathens cannot, and if those 2/3, of course, if they are designated to be 2/3, they're going to be destroyed anyway for other reasons. But it says what? Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell. So you're not going to be able to buy or sell, save or unless he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you're not going to be able to buy or sell unless you have this mark. Now, real quick, because it said it's like branding cattle, correct? And right here, we'll normally play it, but it probably did or not. But yeah, it's charagma, or it's a charagma, but charagma, which it says what? A stamp, a scratch or etching, a stamp as a badge of servitude, or a sculpted image, a graven mark. It says what? A stamp and a printed mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. And we understand there's not just one Antichrist. Esau Edom is that number one Antichrist. And those who don't believe in the scriptures, the Yahweh Shem Shai, everything, if you don't believe, you're considered Antichrist. And it says what? The mark branded upon horses. So just like it say right here, a thing called sculptor. So what it say? A mark branded on horses. What it say in this article right here? Down low, it says what? Like branding cattle. That's what they call us over here, right? The other rest, they call us the goyim, cattle, right? But we understand us of the whole full egg, we're not considered goyim, because we understand what's going on. We're actually prophesying their actions before they they follow through with it. It says, here is wisdom. Verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600, 666. And like you said, they give you a unique identification number, 16 digits or whatever the case may be, but it's ultimately going to be a barcode, and it's going to have that 666 encrypted inside of that barcode. So Like that's pretty much all for that article. Just like I said, these things were already put into place to happen years ahead before they started putting it on the forefront. How they doing it now? Because hey man, hey Yahweh Shemel Shah have made Esau bare. He done uncovered all his wickedness and secrets, and more things are being uncovered about this devil. So again, hoping that this lesson was edifying to any sincere Akim Waf out there listening. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing to your gospel in sincerity and truth. Shalom, Yasha Allah, Abai, Babal.